So what's the number one thing you see in a catcher that they need to work on with receiving? Is it a lot of missed balls, or is it receiving loose? I mean, what's the number one thing you see?
I would say the biggest receiving kind of error we see, right, is that we're stabbing at baseballs, okay? So you kind of got to think about it as hitting, right? So our eyes always have to adjust, right? So if I'm in my stance here, okay, and I'm watching that ball come in, my hand stays here, and I'm catching everything here. So if I go to reach for it, right, what do my eyes have to do? They have to go out here as well, right? So that's when we get those ones that come off of our hands, or we just drop them. So the biggest thing is, right, we stab at it. We then lead with our glove, turn to catch, right? So another drill we work on with receiving is only catching with 3 fingers, right? So if you look at your glove, put your hands in, usually you're catching everything here. We want to always try to catch in the pocket for 2 reasons. One, you catch in the same spot every time, you get used to it. But when you go to transfer and go grab that ball, you know where it's at. So you can work on catching the ball. You know, older guys, you can put a baseball here and it makes it a little bit harder because then you lead with that if you go to reach. But young guys, right? So if I go to reach here, I'm gonna hit it with my knuckle, right? So we really work on seeing it deep, and we're here, catching it. But if I go to reach, my knuckles lead, and then I'll drop that baseball. So yeah, absolutely. The number one receiving flaw I see from young kids all the way to older kids is stabbing at that baseball and reaching for it instead of letting it get to you.
So I guess one other thing too that, you know, we probably like to talk about with, like, where do you set up? So obviously we see guys that are almost maybe too far back because they're scared to get close to the bat. So I guess, you know, run through that a little bit of, you know, where do you stand based on the hitter, or, you know, all that stuff.
So it all depends on the hitter, right? So if he's up in the box, I still can't stand back here in my stance right here, right? Because at that point, when that ball crosses the plate, it's at his feet, okay? So if he's back in the box, obviously, I can't stay up here anymore. So what I do, relying on the hitter, so I let him get in his stance, and I'll actually reach up for his elbow, okay? And I usually leave about 2 to 3 inches between my glove and his elbow. And now I know I'm in a good spot, so if he goes to swing, he's not gonna hit my glove, unless I do this, right? So my proper fundamentals of staying back here really plays into a factor here. Because one, if we're too close, we catch interference. If we're too far back, you lose strikes. So when we talk blocking, right? So the biggest thing, don't be scared of baseball, right? So you got all that gear on you. The biggest thing, right, especially for younger kids that we see, is I want to turn my head or move, right? So as a catcher, right, all my gear is here, here, here. So as soon as I turn, right, that's when I can get hurt, okay? So the first thing we talk about blocking, talk about throwing our feet out from under us, okay? We want to land, so if I put tennis ball here, okay, and I set up, I want it right at my knees, because now when I go to block, I want to block straight down, okay? I don't want to do this, because now, if I'm going forward and the baseball hits me, it bounces out, okay? So we almost want to receive that baseball into our chest. So we can be here, we're going to come down, we're going to be straight in line. So we're going to kick those feet out, drop straight down. So, first things, knees are coming down, I'm staying wide, okay? Don't want to shrink up, stay wide. Then I'm punching both my hands into the ground and coming over. So, that angle we want is at 45 degrees, right? So, a lot of good math guys here. We got 90 degrees here, 45. So this should be your chest, okay? So when that ball hits, it's here and straight down. The higher up you get, the more it's gonna bounce left or right, or bounce far out from you. So that 45 degrees. So I've dropped, hands are down, 45. The next thing is my head, right? So you always gotta tuck that chin. But when we go to block, we don't just drop and immediately tuck our head. Again, it's kind of watching that baseball in. So I'm watching it, I see it's in the dirt, I see it, boom, into my chest. Now I can see it in front of me. With our footwork, it's kind of 2-part, top and bottom, okay? So a couple drills you can work on, right? So I'll let Coach throw a couple tennis balls at me. So let's take our legs out of it, just work on the top half. So I'm gonna be here, coach is gonna throw it, I'm gonna see that ball down. So, if you guys notice, I'm not moving my body with that baseball, right? So, I get my hands down here, kind of call it the triangle blocking, right? So this is the point, comes up to my shoulder, comes across, and back down, okay? So we're gonna block the baseball. So if I do this, or pop up, that's when balls can bounce left and right. So we're gonna stay here. So again, we're staying here, just gonna throw it, see the ball down. That's where we want it to drop, right? So by keeping that 45-degree angle, it's gonna drop forward. Obviously, we can also dry block. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. But me in our stance, you just work on dropping straight down. That's where you put the tennis ball beside you. Make sure your legs are going down.
Coach, what did you do to loosen your hips? Did you do any special exercises to make sure you can get wide with your knees, legs, to be able to spread out?
Yeah, exactly. You know, as a catcher, right? So the biggest thing we talk about is hip and ankle mobility. Okay. So one good thing about that, yoga. Big guys do yoga too. Maybe a little CrossFit. But no, obviously a lot of stretching, right? So guys, we can reach out, trying to work ourselves down. Anything to get your hips looser, right? We're getting wide, stretching them out. It's the biggest thing. You go in, especially to a game or a practice, your hips aren't loose, you don't feel good behind the plate, right? When we're sitting like this for hours on end, you got to be able to be loose.